Thomas Tuchel has put out his England World Cup roster. We're going to talk about the players that are missing in just a second. But Troy, what was your reaction to this squad list?
Initially, disappointment, surprised at some of the people that are missing. But overall, underwhelmed. Just not in a position to be like, oh yes, we're going to win the World Cup. I don't have that excitement. A lot of people we've spoken to around London today have said the same thing. The feeling is that it doesn't make sense. And to me personally, when listen to the manager talk about how he wanted his players to be playing week in, week out, and wanted it to be regular and fit and playing at the top level. So, okay, I can understand that. Kwanzaa being in the team makes absolute sense. Played a lot for Leverkusen this season. But then he brings in John Stones. And it just contradicts everything that he's been saying. The same with Jordan Henderson. Obviously, Brentford are having a fantastic season, but he's not playing. So it's like, what you're telling me versus what we're getting doesn't make sense. I look at Livramento, I look at Reece James, both been injured towards the back end of the season. Obviously fantastic players, but if we're making the exception that Reece James can go in because when he's fit and firing at his best, he's one of our best players, well then surely we have to do that with the likes of Cole Palmer. We have to do that with the likes of Phil Foden. And in my opinion, Trent Alexander-Arnold not being in the team is a disgrace, in my opinion, because, again, both of those right-backs have had issues with their fitness. He can fill in there. If you're talking about a holding midfielder and what Jordan Henderson brings, I don't think he does anything better than Trent, in my opinion. So, a little bit underwhelmed, a little bit disappointed. Thomas Tuchel was brought in to win it, and I think giving him a 2-year contract extension before this, I think we could actually take a step backwards. I really do. I have no confidence
now. So you think they should have at least waited till after the World Cup?
I have less confidence now than I did when Gareth Southgate was in.
I think the problem with the squad is it leaves a lot of questions. It leaves Thomas Tuchel open exactly with what Troy has said. You come here as a manager, you talk about the foundations and principles that you have as a manager, what is going to be required to be in this England squad, and you look at some of that selection there, there's going to be questions. It looks like he's contradicting himself. I think the best thing for managers to say and do is just to say, I'm going to pick the players that I want to pick. Mm-hmm. Don't tell us about the foundations and the principles and being a good team player and having a good environment and getting regular football.
But he did say that in some ways, didn't he? He did say there would have been 5 players that people could have made an argument for whether I'd included those 5 or if I hadn't. So in some ways he did say, this is my team.
Yeah, but this is after.
Yes, but this is after. He set after he's laid his foundation about the team environment. It's what you do around the camp, and it's also the fact of playing regular football. There's a lot of questions that people can ask with that squad there, and Troy makes a great point. John Stones has barely played this season. And you talk about Harry Maguire missing out with the form that he's shown at Manchester United.
Was that a huge shock for you?
I think it's a big shock. People would say Harry Maguire not going with John Stones going, and also Jordan Henderson and the other centre back. For me,
Dan Burn is who you're talking about.
Yeah. Harry Maguire's a threat for set pieces, defensively and attacking wise. So there's a lot of questions that can be asked about this England squad.
This is the notable players that's excluded. Of all those, Troy, who's the biggest miss there? You mentioned Trent Alexander-Arnold, so I suppose aside from him.
I think obviously we start to look at the caps. You look at Harry Maguire, you look at Trent Alexander-Arnold. I actually would have liked Luke Shaw in there. I think he gives you a good balance to be able to play left back, but also then turn to a back 5 if you need to. I also, if I'm being totally honest, an Adam Wharton and a Scott from Bournemouth. Again, they're your that's your position, so I'll let you talk to it. But I always just wonder, when you're a midfielder and you've been playing well and your team's done well, and then somebody like Jordan Henderson, and this is not about Jordan as a person, this is more about like him in terms of where he's been playing at this moment in time. How do they feel? Because you're at a so-called lesser team, but you're doing well. Your team's performing well. You're outperforming other people in your position, and you still don't get into the squad.
It's a difficult pill to swallow, and that's the thing about it, because you want to do well, you want to finish as high as you can in the league table, and you feel that you earn the right. That's how you do it, by performing and your team doing well and you being one of the main stars or one of the main players who's vital for that.
Do you think Cole Palmer and Phil Foden will feel like they earned the right to be in this World Cup squad?
I think Cole Palmer and Phil Foden are a different conversation because of the technical ability that they have, because they are very talented players. Can I stand here and say that they've had a great season? No, because I'll be lying. They haven't really performed to the levels that's been required throughout the entire season. But for the technical ability that they have and the individual players that they are, you really have to consider taking them, because we don't have players of that quality and that technical ability like Cole Palmer and Phil Foden. Whenever you're playing like a low block, if you play a team that's well organised defensively and well structured, They are the type of players that can make that magic pass, make that moment happen, because the other players you can bring there do not have that technical ability that those two players possess. So that's why that one is a different conversation to other players that you might discuss.
Also, just to add to that, tactically, when you look at the squad, we're setting up to play one way and one way only. So if we play with Marcus Rashford on the left, let's say, if he comes off, Anthony Gordon comes in. It's a like-for-like change. There's no different maverick style that can come in. And I think that's where I'm so disappointed, because we're looking at it as in like plan A will work. So we're going to keep going with plan A. But what if plan A doesn't work? What if you need to change it? What need to add something?
Phil and Cole have that moment of magic. They bring something a bit different.
Again, we saw Cole Palmer in the Euros before. And again, talking to this season, both of them have had poor seasons this season in terms of for their domestic team. But one thing that's gone in like Morgan Rogers' favour is he's been fantastic for England when he's played for England.
Yeah.
So if we're going to do that, look at Cole Palmer when he was in the Euros. He came off the left, he came off the right, and was fantastic when he was coming off the bench. It was calls that Jude Bellingham should be dropped and he should be starting. So if you're talking about what he's done for England, he should be on the bench to give you that X factor. To even an opposition team should go, oh my God, he's coming on. Do you get what I mean? It wouldn't scare them if Jordan Henderson's coming on.
Right. The other one that's obviously been a big talking point is Ivan Toney, because not only is it a surprise for a lot of people that he's been included, but he didn't look a major part of Thomas Tuchel's plans either. He's only played 7 minutes under Thomas Tuchel. What's the thought process, do you think, behind bringing him on, other than he's a good natural finisher?
Go on, Striker. I'll let you take that one.
It doesn't. I'm buzzing that he's going. And I think Ivan should be going, because I think he should have been in there anyway. Thomas Tuchel makes no sense. He's told us at the start, do you remember at the start of this, he said he didn't put Ivan in the squad because he hadn't watched enough games in person.
Yeah.
He brings him here, he gives him 7 minutes, as you alluded to. Hardly ever puts him in. He's talking about making a harmonious group, but he's also said Ivan is part of the problem of not having a harmonious group. But now the squad's been selected, he's in the squad. Everything Thomas Tuchel says is the opposite to what his actions are.
It's going to be questionable. And just to say, you look at Ivan Toney being involved, and you look at Danny Welbeck and the season that he's had, and he's a bit of a more of a senior player as well. He's had a great season. Dominic Calvert-Lewin has done well as well from being fit as well, where you can make arguments that other players that are doing it are playing well and haven't been involved
I think Ivan's
squad.
better than both in that regard.
But again, it becomes more of a personal choice.
Yeah.
So
That's
are you happy to see Ivan there? You're just surprised that he hasn't been part of the plans leading up to
I'm more surprised that he hasn't been given more time, more opportunity to showcase what he can do.
More involvement with
because again, I've said this before with England. We do friendlies and Harry Kane starts. We know what Harry Kane gives. We don't need to test him. If any game he's starting, fit and available, he's starting. We understand that. What about the second moment? What about touch when it doesn't happen? He gets injured. He gets a suspension. Whatever it might be that he has to miss a game. Then what for us? And that's where I think Ivan comes in. I think he'll be the number 3. I think Ollie Watkins will be second.
Yeah.
And rightly so, because he's had a fantastic season. But Ivan will be that third option, that if we're losing, if we have to go 2 up front, you put him in and let him do his thing. But I think it's, for me, a lot of these question marks, Nigel, is not going to be answered until after the World Cup. But I will say, if we don't go any further than we have done, which is a semi-final, he needs to leave.
I would have to say, for me, Thomas Tuchel's World Cup squad has left himself open to be questioned tremendously, his selection.
Is it still coming home?
Well, we're going home in a few days. That's about as much as I know.
But Troy, you said England one of the favourites. Do you still feel that way?
I always say we are going to be
Final or
one of the
bust?
favourites because of the players and the talent that we've got. We haven't taken all the talent with us. We're going into war with a pen and paper, and they're going into war with machine guns. You look at flipping France. You look at Portugal, you look at all these other teams, and you're thinking, we're arguing about leaving Adam Wharton at home, and Camavinga's not going to France. So you start to look at the pool that we're talking about. It's like, I understand we want it to be a harmonious group. I understand we want it to be a nice group and everyone gets along. I want us to bloody win.
Yeah.
I know it's a crazy thing, but that's why we brought Thomas Tuchel in, to win.
Nice teams don't always win.
I don't know anyone who gets along with everyone that's successful. I don't.
Well, there was always going to be a lot of backlash from whoever he picked, right? But this roster reveal has left everybody with a lot of questions.
Just make sure you win, and then I'll be the first to say I'm sorry.
Okay, we'll see. 21 days to go until the World Cup all gets going in America.